Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're in for a treat. Today, we're talking about one of the hottest topics on the internet, the laziest ways to make money online for beginners. Yep, I said it, lazy. If you're tired of those complicated side hustle ideas that require tons of effort, you've come to the right place. You won't need any fancy degrees or special skills to get started. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I know you're probably wondering, can I really make money with minimal effort? And to answer that, I'm bringing you into a podcast-style discussion where we break down the easiest methods to get started. Grab your headphones, sit back, and let's dive into this together.
Okay, so we're diving into this whole lazy online income idea today. And you know who doesn't love the sound of that, right? Like those ads we've all seen, laptop on the beach kind of thing. But it is all hype or what? Is there something actually there? So the source we're looking at this time makes a pretty bold claim. They say you can build a serious online income stream, all without quitting your day job or becoming some kind of social media guru. And get this, the best part is that it's supposed to revolve around something you're already passionate about.
Yeah, that's what's really interesting here. It's all about finding that sweet spot,
Yeah.
where your interests and what people are actually paying for online overlap. It's not enough to just chase the latest trend or whatever. You've got to find a niche that really resonates with you personally, but that also, has a potential to actually make you money.
Exactly. You got to connect with it, but it's got to be something people will actually pay for. And this source actually has a really cool brainstorming exercise to get you started. They want you to grab a Google Doc and just start jotting down things you're interested in, like 20 things at least. Think hobbies, passions, anything you already know something about. It's about tapping into those things you're naturally drawn to. Right. Because those are the areas where you'll be able to create the best content that other people will actually connect with.
Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. The source says you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to spend months and months creating some big product. Instead, they say you should leverage existing products through affiliate marketing. Have you heard of platforms like Digistore24 and ClickBank?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They mention those specifically as examples. They're supposed to be gold mines for finding potential partnerships. And what's cool about places like Digistore24 and ClickBank is the variety. I mean, they have everything from digital courses and ebooks to software and online services. It's a huge marketplace. The key is to really do your research on any product before you jump in. Look at the vendor's reputation, obviously, and then think about the commission rates and the overall quality of the product itself. Is there actually demand for this thing?
So don't just go for the product with the highest commission rate, right? Gotta make sure it fits with your audience and actually provides value.
100%, yeah. It's all about strategic alignment.
Love that strategic alignment.
So you've got this promising product now, right? The next step is getting it in front of the right people.
Yeah.
And that's where this lazy content traffic formula comes in.
Okay, the lazy content traffic formula.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that already. Tell me more.
Basically, it's about working smarter, not harder, right? Leverage what already exists out there. The source suggests doing some competitive research. Like, take a look at the popular videos from successful YouTube channels in your niche.
So we're talking about spying on the competition.
Well, not exactly. It's not about stealing ideas. It's about understanding what works, what your target audience actually responds to.
I got you. Good artists borrow, great artists steal, or something like that, right? Just kidding.
Yeah.
But seriously, you can learn a lot by looking at what's already working.
Absolutely. So once you've got a feel for what people are watching, you can take those ideas and turn them into slideshow presentations. Ever use OBS?
I have heard of it.
It's free, and it lets you record your screen and narrate over it. That way you can create these engaging video presentations without ever having to actually be on camera.
That's what I'm talking about. My introverted self is very happy to hear that.
Exactly. It's
Right.
all about accessibility, right? You don't need fancy equipment, just a good idea and a microphone.
Right.
And the willingness to put in a little work, of course.
Okay, I'm with you so far. So I've got my Google Doc full of niche ideas, found an awesome product on Digistore24, created my killer slideshow, hit upload on YouTube. Now what? How does this magically turn into passive income?
Well, the source does get into the numbers a bit, but we got to be realistic here. They recommend aiming for 3 videos per week, which after a year gives you a library of 144 videos. Let's say each video gets 1,000 views per month on average. That's 144,000 views across your whole channel every month. And let's say a tiny fraction of those viewers actually buy the product through your link. Let's say 0.004%. That's about 57 sales per month. And remember that $250 per sale figure we talked about earlier? That works out to a potential $14,250 per month in income.
Wow. Okay, that's not bad at all. But it can't be that easy, right? There's got to be more to it than just uploading videos and watching the money roll in. It's not like some get-rich-quick scheme or anything. It takes work and strategy. This source talks a lot about treating your content creation like a real business.
Exactly. It's not just a hobby,
Yeah.
you know?
So, like, what do they say are the most important things to focus on?
Well, one thing they really emphasize is keyword research.
Mm.
You know, it's not enough to just make videos about stuff you're interested in. You got to make sure people are actually searching for that stuff on YouTube.
All right, otherwise you're just shouting into the void.
Pretty much. But luckily, there are a ton of tools out there that can help you find those keywords.
So you're saying there's hope for us, even if we're not like SEO wizards?
Definitely, there are plenty of free and paid tools that make it pretty straightforward. It's about finding the keywords with decent search volume, but not too much competition.
That's sweet spot again. So let's say you've done your keyword research, you're creating great content, but the views and sales are still kind of lagging behind. What's the deal with that?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky. You got to remember that YouTube's algorithm is always changing, and there's a ton of competition out there.
So how do you stay ahead of the game?
The source talks a lot about the importance of engagement. It's not just about getting views, you know. You want people to actually interact with your videos, like comment, subscribe, share, that kind of thing.
Basically, you want people to stick around and watch for as long as possible?
Exactly. The algorithm loves that. It shows that your content is actually keeping people engaged.
Makes sense. So it's about building a community around your content, not just creating videos in a vacuum.
100%. And speaking of building a community, the source also stresses the importance of building an email list.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot about that. Why is that so important?
Well, it gives you a direct line of communication with your audience. You're not at the mercy of YouTube's algorithm or anything like that.
So if the algorithm changes or, YouTube goes down or whatever.
Exactly. You still have that direct connection with your people.
Smart. Okay, so you've got your content, you're building a community, you've got your email list, but even then it seems like it would be tough to stand out. There's so much content out there these days.
Totally. And the source addresses that too. They talk about the importance of brand building and creating a unique value proposition.
So it's not enough to just be another face in the crowd.
Right. You got to give people a reason to choose you. What makes you different? What makes you special?
Like finding your unique voice, your unique angle?
Exactly. You want to be the go-to person in your niche.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you know if you're on the right track? How do you know if your business model is actually working?
That's where validation comes in. The source talks about the importance of testing your assumptions and making sure your niche and your approach are actually profitable.
So you're not just jumping in blindly and hoping for the best.
Right. It's about being strategic and data-driven.
Well, I like it data-driven.
The source suggests starting small, maybe with a limited budget for testing. Try different traffic strategies, experiment with different types of content.
So it's all about experimentation and seeing what works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you track your results, analyze the data, and make adjustments as needed.
So it's like a constant process of iteration and optimization.
Precisely.
This is fascinating stuff. Okay, so we've talked about niche selection, content creation, community building, email marketing. What else is there?
Well, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. It's something the source mentions, but they don't go into a ton of detail.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
It's the idea of recurring revenue.
Hmm.
You know, instead of just relying on one-off sales.
I see where you're going with this. So you have a steady stream of income coming in every month.
Exactly. It's a game changer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of chasing those one-time sales, you've got that recurring income coming in. That's got to feel good.
It's a whole different ballgame. Gives you so much more stability and predictability.
So what kinds of things work well for this recurring revenue model?
Honestly, the possibilities are pretty much endless. Software subscriptions are the obvious example, I guess. But you could do online memberships, coaching programs, even things like subscription boxes or monthly retainers for your services.
Okay, so you just got to find that need and fill it, but make it recurring.
Exactly.
This source also mentioned using software to streamline your content creation process. They even called out a couple of specific tools, VideoScribe and Animaker.
Oh, yeah, those are great, especially if you're not comfortable being on camera or anything like that.
Right, it's like having your own little animation studio.
Pretty much.
And then there's the whole idea of delegating tasks and outsourcing.
Which is super appealing once you start to get busy.
This source mentioned Trello for managing everything.
Yeah, Trello's awesome for that. Keeps everything organized.
So we're talking about hiring virtual assistants and stuff like that, right?
Eventually, yeah. But the source makes a good point about not scaling too quickly.
Right. Gotta walk before you can run.
Exactly.
So much good stuff in this deep dive. We've covered niche selection, content creation, community building, email marketing, recurring revenue. My brain is full.
Mine too.
But for someone listening who's like raring to go, what's the one thing you want them to take away from all of this?
I'd say the biggest thing is that building a real online income takes time. It's not about getting rich quick or anything like that.
Yeah, no magic button, unfortunately.
Nope. It's about creating something valuable, building an audience,
Mm.
and treating it like a real business.
And being patient.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that's where the lazy part comes in, right? Once you put in the work, you can start to automate things and eventually have a system that's generating income without you having to constantly hustle.
So it's not really about being lazy. It's about being strategic.
Exactly.
I'm feeling inspired. Time to fire up Google Docs and get to work.
That's what I like to hear.
This has been awesome. Until next time, everybody. Keep learning, keep exploring, and remember the laziest way to make money online is to build a business that works even when you're not.